Hi, I'm Anne-Marie with Speak Confident English, and welcome to your Confident English Wednesday lesson. This is exactly where you should be every Wednesday if your goal is to advance your English language skills, build your confidence and your fluency in English. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and on my YouTube channel. I would love to have you follow me so that you can get my lessons every week. Today we're going to focus on all of those capital letters that you sometimes see when you're looking at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What do they mean? Why do we use them? And how can you use them when you're responding to your friends or others in English? So to be honest with you, there are an endless number of these abbreviations and acronyms that we use on social media to express what we want in a short, more effective way. For example, with Twitter, you have to be really careful about how much you say because you're limited in the number of characters that you're allowed to use. In today's video lesson, I'm going to review some of the most challenging or maybe difficult to understand so that you know exactly what those different acronyms or abbreviations mean and how you can use them. But in the online lesson, you have your ultimate list of abbreviations and acronyms to use for social media so that you understand and you can start using them when you're communicating with friends online. Let's start with AMA, Ask Me Anything. This is often used when someone is hosting a webinar or something live on Facebook and they want to say that this is an opportunity for you to ask any question about my area of expertise. So if you're joining me for a Fluency Challenge in March, you might find out that there will be an AMA session during the Fluency Challenge. ELI 5, explain it like I'm 5. What this means is to explain something to me as if or like I'm a 5-year-old child. For example, my expertise is language, linguistics, but if I have a question about science, maybe something really complicated, I don't want the technical explanation. I want the basic explanation like I'm a 5-year-old. So if you have a question and you're posting it on Twitter or on a social media platform, you might use that acronym to say, hey, keep it basic and simple. I'm not an expert. Fear of missing out. The fear of missing out is to miss the opportunity, or maybe you have the anxiety or you're afraid that everyone else is having a great time, everyone else is having some fantastic opportunity and you are missing it for whatever reason. So this acronym says simply that you're having those feelings of anxiety over possibly missing out. Gotta go or gotta run. We use these expressions when it's time for us to leave or when we're in a hurry. For example, maybe you unexpectedly see someone at the grocery store, you start having a conversation, but you realize you have a business meeting in 10 minutes and you can't be late, so you've gotta go, you've gotta run. It's time for you to leave right now. If you see HT on Twitter, it means hat tip. A hat tip, if you imagine someone wearing a hat and they tip their head. In English speaking culture, this is often a way that we acknowledge someone. It's a little bit old-fashioned, but it used to be that if you were walking by someone that you recognized or you wanted to acknowledge them, you would tip your hat. So online, that is often a way to acknowledge or even say thank you to someone for posting something interesting, great, maybe an article that you've read. So if you see HT, it simply means someone is acknowledging or thanking someone for what they've posted. With English grammar, you might be familiar with the use of tag questions. For example, it is, isn't it? Which is a way to agree with someone. And we have another example of that when we say, I know, right? Imagine that your best friend just sent you a text message and she said she just watched the most recent Westworld series or the most recent episode and it was incredible. And you watched it 2 days ago and you want to agree with her, so you would say, I know, right? It's like saying, yeah, I agree with you. It was awesome. OH is for overheard. To overhear something means that you've heard some information without the speaker knowing that you've heard it, and maybe you weren't supposed to hear it. For example, imagine at your work Maybe your desk is very close to your boss's office, and maybe sometimes you hear your boss say something on the telephone that you're not really supposed to hear. Maybe one day it's something really important or interesting or strange, and you send a quick message to your friend and you want to tell her that you overheard some important detail from your boss, so you would use OH to shorten that expression. And our final acronym for today's video lesson is TBT. You probably have seen this all over the place on Instagram and Facebook, maybe Pinterest, and it means Throwback Thursday. Thursday has become a day all over the world where people post photos of memories that they've had, whether it's from when they were a child, simply when they were younger, or maybe even something that happened last year, but it was a fantastic memory. A throwback is something that is a memory or that reminds us of a past time. It's even a little bit nostalgic. Thus, TBT is for Throwback Thursday. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video lesson, there is an endless number of these acronyms and abbreviations. I've given you an enormous list in the online lessons, so make sure that you visit it to learn several more acronyms and abbreviations. And of course, you might be familiar with some that are not included on that list. So I would love for you to share some of your favorite acronyms and abbreviations for social media, or introduce us to some new ones in the comment section in the lesson online. Thank you so much for joining me. If you found this useful, please share it with your friends. You can do that by subscribing to my YouTube channel and sharing it, or share it with your friends on Facebook. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for your Confident English Wednesday lesson.